Everyone makes mistakes. And here's the reassuring part: no matter how embarrassing your error may have been, you can take comfort in the fact that it wasn't as catastrophic as these. So prepare to feel better about yourself as we examine some small errors that have had shockingly significant repercussions. But before we dive into these eye-opening stories, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell, because you won't want to miss a minute of the madness. Let's begin. Bolt of Doom. In the fierce space race of the 1950s and 1960s, the USSR and the USA were locked in a high-stakes competition to reach the moon. The Soviet Union fired the starting shot with the launch of Sputnik, the world's first satellite, in October 1957. Just a month later, they pushed the boundaries even further by sending the first living being into orbit. Not once to be left behind, the United States revealed their ambitious plans for the Saturn V rocket in 1962, with the goal of putting a man on the moon. Fearing falling behind, the Soviets embarked on their own moon mission with the development of the N-1 rocket. All seemed poised for a grand showdown until that fateful day, July 3, 1969. The world watched in awe as the N-1 rocket blasted into the sky, only to come crashing back down in a spectacular fireball. This fireball, at the time, stood as the most enormous explosion ever created by humans outside of an atomic bomb. But the story doesn't end there. Just 13 days later, on July 16, 1969, history took a different turn when America's Saturn V rocket launched successfully, carrying astronauts on a historic journey to the moon. Now, here's where it gets crazy. All of this colossal chaos, the turning point in the space race, can be traced back to one, yes, just one loose bolt. An incorrectly attached bolt on the N-1 rocket, shortly after launch, caused a catastrophic chain of events. It snagged a fuel pump, sending it careening out of control, blocking vital fuel flow, and ultimately resulting in that earth-shattering fireball. One loose bolt, and the course of history was forever altered. Blazing gender reveal. Prior to September 5, 2020, gender reveal parties were a relatively unnoticed affair. That all changed when Refugio Jimenez and Angela decided to take theirs to a whole new level of spectacle. Nestled in the woods near El Dorado, California, where they called home, they planned a celebration. To make the reveal unforgettable, they opted for fireworks. But little did they know, that was a disastrously ill-conceived idea, especially when you mix fireworks with parched woodlands in the scorching summer heat of September 2020, which happened to be 20 degrees hotter than previous summers. As fate would have it, a seemingly harmless smoke bomb set off at just the wrong moment ignited a branch, and that branch set another ablaze. In the bone-dry forest, the flames spread like wildfire, quite literally. This inferno raged on for an unprecedented 23 days, nearly impossible to contain given the parched conditions of that summer. Families were forced to evacuate their homes, and smoke-choked roads shut down countless businesses. The Jimenez family faced the consequences, with a staggering 30 criminal charges brought against them. The price tag of this catastrophe? An estimated $40 million in damages. It's truly mind-boggling to think that a celebration could spiral into such destruction, all because of a few ill-fated fireworks. NYC's Great Blackout. No one enjoys a blackout. The sudden loss of internet, TV, and lights can be quite an inconvenience. But what happened on July 13, 1977, made your typical blackout seem like child's play. 3 lightning bolts struck a Con Edison site in New York, and within moments, Westchester County and New York City were plunged into darkness. The operator at the facility had a mere 15 minutes to get things up and running again, and all they had to do was flip a series of switches in the correct order. However, in a twist of fate, that operator made a grave mistake that would haunt the city. Instead of hitting the right switch, they flicked the wrong one, leaving New York City in the dark for a staggering 25 hours. What followed was nothing short of chaos. The city erupted into the largest riot it had ever seen. Stores were looted, public property was vandalized, cars were set ablaze, and anarchy reigned supreme. The aftermath? A staggering 1,000 fires, 1,600 burglaries, and 3,700 arrests. The cost? An estimated $300 million in damages. But here's the twist in the tale, that darkness became the breeding ground for a musical revolution known as hip-hop. Before we delve into the next catastrophe, may I kindly request your support by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that notification bell? Your support means the world to us. Now, let's continue. Fatal window flaw. In 1950, the world was abuzz with excitement over de Havilland's revolutionary new Comet plane. It was a game-changer, the very first commercial jet airliner ever built, boasting a futuristic design and 4 powerful Ghost turbojet engines that sounded like something out of a sci-fi movie. Following a successful test flight in 1949, this modern and elegant aircraft took to the skies in 1952, ushering people into a new era of air travel. However, tragically, just a year into its journey, disaster struck, and de Havilland's luck took a dramatic turn for the worse. In the 1950s, there were approximately 6 crashes involving U.S. airlines every year. Given the thousands of flights conducted annually, this was already an alarming statistic. But the Comet faced an even more chilling reality: 3 catastrophic accidents within a mere 2-year span, resulting in the tragic loss of 89 lives. This was a series of accidents that went far beyond what could be dismissed as mere bad luck. After exhaustive investigations, an unlikely culprit emerged: the plane's sharply pointed window corners. Compare those to the rounded edges of today's Airbus windows. You see, in the world of vehicle engineering, square corners or angles are stress amplifiers. They increase the likelihood that an object will shatter under pressure. And when you're hurtling through the sky at 450 miles per hour, stress is a constant companion. Those square windows eventually succumbed after just a few flights, whereas circular ones would have held up much better. This revelation forced an immediate redesign of the aircraft after it landed. Snooze and lose. Heinrich Albert played a critical role as the paymaster for German spies operating in the United States during World War I. He ensured that these spies received their salaries on time and were equipped with all the necessary documentation, supplies, and gear for their covert missions. His role was of utmost importance. Although America had not yet officially entered World War I in 1915, they were actively supplying resources and ammunition to their European allies. Germany viewed this as a significant threat and established an extensive surveillance network aimed at disrupting American production, corrupting officials, and sowing chaos. One fateful day in Harlem, New York, Albert boarded a train, took a seat, and eventually dozed off. Picture this: nodding off on a train while clutching your briefcase, which contains the names, addresses, and assignments of every spy operating in the nation. After groggily awakening, Albert disembarked from the train, completely unaware that his briefcase had gone missing. It wasn't until he rushed back aboard that he realized the object was gone, swiped by American Secret Service agents who had been tailing him. With concrete evidence of German sabotage in hand, the United States decided to take decisive action. They promptly recalled all German diplomats and ambassadors. The White House then made this information public, causing significant embarrassment for Germany and undermining their international standing, as they appeared vulnerable on the global stage. Fateful cigarette drop. In the quiet Ukrainian village of Novobodnivka lay a significant secret. Nestled within the Novobodnivka hills was a munitions depot holding a staggering 92,000 tons of explosives, including munitions and weapons rarely ever used by the nation. These stockpiles dated back to the tumultuous period following the fall of the Soviet Union in the 1990s. Given the value of these armaments, guards were assigned to vigilantly protect the storage facility. To while away the hours, these sentinels turned to cigarettes for solace. However, a fateful decision was made by the guards that would change everything. Instead of remaining in their approved smoking area, they opted to move closer to the highly sensitive weapons storage. In a tragic twist of fate, a guard accidentally dropped a lit cigarette, setting off a chain reaction of destruction. The calamity unleashed was beyond containment, given the relentless series of explosions that followed. The shockwaves of these explosions reverberated across a region spanning over 150 square miles, leaving devastation in their wake. This relentless explosion continued unabated for a harrowing 8 consecutive days. Now, after exploring these astonishing stories, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever had an experience where a small mistake had unexpectedly large consequences in your own life? Share your story in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more captivating tales of history's hidden catastrophes. Thanks for watching.